What do you mean offer me one? I'm going into Hermes, I have the money, I want to buy the bag. Don't work like that. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to talk to you about buying a Birkin Preloved and my first impressions on the Birkin since I received her a little time ago, and this has come from quite a lot of questions and comments I got when I unboxed this little beauty on my channel. You guys had asked me why I decided to go preloved, how I decided to go preloved, what I set for my limit, what I thought about the Birkin, what my first impressions are, and I thought that's what we'll answer today in today's video. So first things first, if you haven't watched that video, I bought this Birkin preloved. I did not buy it from the store. I have not been offered a Birkin from the store. I don't have a huge profile in Hermes. And probably for me, the reason why I decided to buy this preloved was because I had very specific requirements. I wanted this bag to be rose Capri, no other shade of pink, not magnolia, not rose extreme, none, no other shade of pink. This is the shade that I wanted, nothing else. I wanted palladium hardware, I wanted a 25, and I wanted it in Togo leather. Now, I understand, and I have spoken to my SA, who is lovely in Hermes, but as I say, I don't buy a huge amount there, that you may not get, unless you're offered a special order, you may not get the exact bag that you want from Hermes if they choose to offer you the opportunity to buy one. That sounds nuts. What do you mean offer me one? I'm going into Hermes, I have the money, I want to buy the bag. Don't work like that. You need to be buying other stuff in some countries where you have a pre-spend and then the store decides to offer you a bag that they receive, or in the UK and Europe, my SA tells me that how you buy a Birkin or any one of the quota bags now is through the wishlist system, that you register a wishlist and that gets registered on your behalf, and you then get lucky or you don't if you get that wishlist allocated. Now, I have a Mini Kelly on my wishlist, which I know and I'm told is probably the hardest bag to get from Hermes at the moment, especially through that system. I know some people have been lucky enough to get their Birkins or their Birkin 25s through the wishlist system. I think Cassie Thorpe got her green one through wishlist system, but that is basically how you get one in the UK or Ireland and in Europe. I do understand that in America and say Asia and Australia that it's to do with your spend and your pre-spend and your relationship with the store. But in any event, you're not guaranteed exactly what you want. It can take a long time to get the bag that you're hoping for. It may not be the specifics that you actually wanted. You don't know when it's going to come. You don't know what leather it's going to be or any of those things. And I decided for this Birkin, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to pick exactly what I wanted and buy that. And I know that other people have bought on the pre-love market for the same reason. When I decided to do that, I decided to leave my wish list open with Hermes for the Mini Kelly because I am a lot more flexible with the colour of a Mini Kelly that I would love. I would basically love a Mini Kelly in a bright colour. Black would be useful, but I'm not a black bag lover. I would prefer it in a bright colour. So any bright colour for a Mini Kelly, and I would be singing. I would love that. It would be fab. So there's a lot more breadth there of offers that could be given to me, and I would be delighted to accept. Go, here you go, take my money. You've been kind enough to allow me the chance to buy this. Take my money. And I'd be delighted to do that, and I would love that Mini Kelly in such a breadth of bright colours. Not the same for the Birkin. Wanted that specifically. So I decided I'm not going to go down the route of waiting on a wish list because I already have a wish list for the Mini Kelly. So that would be filled if I was lucky enough at some point, and then do another one for this one, which my SA was quite open, was saying to me, I may never get you that exact shade. Well, I didn't want to take that risk. I didn't want to play that game. I didn't want to wait for a long time, buy the things from Hermes that I love, because I still buy other things. I don't have any on, but I wear a lot of the Hermes fashion jewellery. I really enjoy them. They're things that I buy anyway. Didn't want to do that. Wanted to just go and buy exactly what I wanted. Now, that sounds like the easy option, but if you choose to do that, there comes with it a cost. Like everything in life, it has a premium. If you choose to go on the resale market to choose the specific bag that you want, it has a premium. I paid more than retail for that. That is not a brand new bag. It did come in brand new condition, and I think I've looked at it. I think it is. It's been checked for authenticity. It is authentic. It came with the box and everything that came with it. It didn't have the ribbon. It didn't have the little paper pillow thing. I wasn't too bothered about that. Came with everything else, and I was delighted that it was exactly what I wanted. But it comes with a premium. So even though it is a couple of years old, somebody else has owned it. So strictly speaking, not brand new. It's more than you pay in the store, and that's just the reality of buying a Birkin or a Kelly or a Constance on the pre-loved market. So this was above retail, and I knew that I was going to have to pay above retail, and I then had to reconcile myself with how much are you going to pay against or above retail. And I've been asked this a lot in the comments on the Birkin bag. And what I did was I did my market research. So I looked for, and Connor from the Closet helped me, I looked for bags in these particular specifics being sold with all of the reputable sellers that we knew to sell authentic bags that Connor through his business had maybe already heard of. We knew were pretty much legit, and I looked and looked and looked for them. When I did that, I started to look at the bags and the range of prices they were versus the condition they were in. Now you need to do this pretty much on the specs that you're looking for, because different colours, depending how sought after that colour is, can attract a different price on the resale market. So we were looking at bags very similar to this and getting a range of the prices that they could cost versus the condition. I then had to look at the condition of those bags and decide what level I could go in at and was comfortable going in at, how much I was basically willing to spend to get this bag. This bag was not cheap. Not cheap. It was above retail, and it was not a couple of hundred above retail. It was more than that. I wanted it to be in nearly new condition. I could not afford on the resale market a brand new one from resale. Couldn't afford it. This bag hasn't been produced in this colour for a while, so that made that more difficult. I needed to have one that was a little bit older but had all the bits and was effectively brand new, and that's how I set my limit. I looked at what they were selling for in the condition. I looked at my own finances, and I decided what I could live with, basically. It's a lot of money. So I decided what I could live with to spend on this bag that would get me the condition that I wanted, and then I had to have patience. I had to wait for a bag to come up in those specs, in that condition, at a price that I was prepared to pay. And I paid just slightly over, when you added the shipping in, what the top of my limit was. And that was because I wanted one that was nearly new, and I wanted one with all the bits and pieces. Had I been prepared to take one that had a bit more wear on it, I could have saved a little bit of money, but I may only have one of these in my life. I would love more, but I feel lucky to have one, and I may never have any more. So I wanted to have one that was exactly what I wanted and in an excellent condition. So that's how I set my limit. I looked at my finances, and one of the things I considered when I did that was, this is a lot of money. So what was I going to be comfortable having spent on this and still using and enjoying the bag? I didn't want the bag to come and be a museum piece sitting up there that I was thinking to myself, you just spent £20,000 on that bag. Gulp. I can't take it out. I can't use it. I can't touch it. I didn't want that. I didn't want to spend so much money that for me in my head it equated to, oh my goodness, I'm uncomfortable with that. Can't touch it. So it had to be a happy medium to get the best bag I could, but a price I could live with and still be happy to use. So that is how I set the amount that for me was comfortable to spend on the pre-loved market. And I don't think that's a set amount. I'm not going to say what my upper limit was. These I think are approximately 8 to 8,500 on the retail price, I believe, depending on the exact specs, and that's in GBP, that's in British pound sterlings. My store is in euro, but most of the resellers were working in either USD, or there was a couple in euro or sterling, but the store, if I was to get a store offer, it would be in euro. So that was 8.5, I think, at retail, or maybe 8. So I was not prepared to buy double. So I was not prepared to go to 16,000. I knew that I wasn't going to get one in the specs that I wanted for 9. or 10 because of what they were retail. And this is why I sold 2 bags to bring money back in to go towards this. So I had to pitch somewhere in the middle that I could live with. And I think that's personal number for everybody. And you need to look at your collection, what your finances are and what you can live with to buy this. Some people it will be whatever it costs. Some people will have enough financial means and will be in a position to just pay whatever is needed, but that wasn't it for me. So I had to be careful to set an exact limit. And that's how I set the limit that I have for this. I then did my research on sellers. I ended up going with Puff from Instagram. There was a couple of others that I would have trusted. There was the Posh Touch I looked at as well. There was the Luxury Rod sometimes gets these. Connor may sometimes get these. And I would have been happy with any of those sellers. But I ended up with Puff because they got the exact specs first. As I say, we were very patient. I waited about 9 months to get the right one. And when I did that, I checked their reviews. I checked the other people that have bought bags from them. I sent a few DMs, which I have no difficulty anybody sending me DMs on, and I ended up with enough feedback that I was happy that the bag would be legit. I still got it authenticated whenever it came back. Connor helped me with that, so I'm safe in the knowledge that this bag is authentic, and that's how I chose the reseller that I was going to go with. By that point, I knew the leather I wanted and the condition, and I just had to be patient. And then she arrived, and now to give you my first impressions of this bag. And I don't think it's going to come as any shock to anybody, but I love her. I love her. She is just, the colour makes me so happy. I love this little blue that my SA was able to get me from the store to go against it. I just wanted blue, and that came inspired by Lorna Style. The one thing that I probably didn't realise so much about this bag and has shocked me slightly since she came and as a first impression is she's really quite casual. I suppose in my head, and that makes sense because she's Togo leather, which is slouchy. She's not a cellier bag. I didn't want to cellier in a Birkin. I wanted this, which is the more relaxed version. But I used to think a Birkin, a handheld bag, it's quite... I have been wearing this bag to the grocery store. I've been wearing this bag with trainers and jeans. I've been wearing this bag with practically everything. She is a lot more casual and usable than I thought. I have been using this bag a little bit like a mini Neverfull. So some of Hermes lovers out there are cringing at me describing this bag in association with the Neverfull. But I have been using her kind of just like a throw-in. I don't have an organiser yet. Somebody come into the comment box and tell me, do I really need one? Because I did Google them. The one that everybody recommends, the 7RP one, and it's €400 for a bag liner. Now I know it's a very expensive bag and it protects them. Somebody come into the comment box and tell me if I need that in my life for this bag. So I have been just throwing everything in her. I have brought this to show you. I have the Louis Vuitton Agenda in the GM size, which is the biggest size. Now when I put her in, there's not a huge amount else goes in. But I have been, if I have not been needing to carry a huge amount and I've been going to a meeting, I've been throwing her in there. Little touch of monogram, which I love, out the top. And I can also get into the back here my phone, my key, my wallet, and just throwing her in and off I go and loving my life. So I have been pleasantly surprised by how casual and usable this bag is. As I say, I've taken her shopping with me. She did sit in the trolley, not on the floor. But I have been pleasantly surprised. I've also taken her when I've been a bit dressier. If you watched my Dublin vlog, I took this bag to Dublin with me when I had a dress on and now trainers though. But she was fab and I loved using her. I just again threw everything in. She's a bit of a black hole. She's just like a tote bag. And I'm probably intending to use this bag as that. Throw everything in and off I go and not be overly precious. And I know that's a huge amount of money, but I want to use the bag and I don't want to be delicate and I don't want to be, obviously I'm not going to throw her in the fire and hope she survives, but I'm going to try and use her. And I have been using her. I haven't even felt conscious about it. I haven't even felt, you shouldn't be taking that bag and setting her down in the coffee shop because she might get a stain. Haven't even, just been using her way at her. I've taken her for coffee. I've taken her for lunch. I have taken her out with the boys. Only whenever we've been going for dinner because I need to be hands-free. They're only 3 and 6, nearly 3 and 6. So you need to do a lot of running after them. Keep them safe, keep them off the roads, that sort of thing. And you need to be hands-free. And that's generally where I will stick to crossbody. But my first impressions of this bag is that she is so much more usable and user-friendly than I initially thought. She is fitting into my lifestyle a lot more than I initially thought. There's no fussy getting in. I haven't closed her. since I showed you her. She's been open since. There's no fussy zips and getting in and getting my stuff in when I'm in a hurry. I just throw it in and I love it. I just love it. I just throw it all in there and it's there to grab and get whatever I want. My keys are in a key holder, so there has been no spiky keys scratching at her, so that has protected her. And apart from that, all I can say is, for me, I did worry with the price of this bag and it being a bit cut top handle, thinking it'd be a bit more formal. I did worry that I wouldn't really use her and she would sit there. I have been using this bag quite a lot for the length of time that I've had her. And as I say, just throwing the stuff in. Just throwing it in. She does have quite a small handle because she's the Birkin 25, but I'm only 5'1", so I don't see that as a problem. I never carry bags on the crook of my arm. If I really had to, I can get her on the crook of my arm because, as I say, I'm not overly tall. Now, she doesn't go right into my elbow, but I could get her on enough if I needed to carry her like that. I never carry bags like that, so it would only be if for some reason I needed to fling her on and have both of my hands. So that isn't really a problem for me. When I've been using this bag, it has been handheld. I haven't put twillies on her. I like the look of her naked. I like just seeing her colour in all of her glory. Really enjoying her. First impressions are fab. First impressions are also that she is more, you know, there's not a mark in this bag still. Now I haven't had her a huge amount of time, but I've used her quite a bit. I think she can probably stand up to more use than what I was worried about. I was worried I would have to baby her and I don't normally do that. Haven't at all. Just used her, taken her with me and loved having her with me. And those are my first impressions on the Birkin 25 and the answer to your questions about buying her pre-loved. I hope this has asked what you were all asking me about choosing to go pre-loved. If there's anything I've missed or you want to know specifically, please do come into the comment box and I will try to answer that for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here. Please take care and I will see you again in the next one.